name is David Geeting and I own a company called By the Book Construction in Camarillo, California. And today I'm going to show you how to repair a small hole in a drywall. We're going to repair this hole, and generally these holes are caused by maybe like a doorknob behind your door, a doorknob hitting it, which was the lack of a door stop. We'll put a hole in your drywall about that size. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure that hole and we're going to cut a patch first. And that patch is going to fit over this hole, and then we will trace around that patch and cut that section out so we know that our patch fits. Okay, I'm going to measure this hole. I think we can make a patch about 5 inches by 5 inches. So I come over here and I'll measure 5 inches, make a mark. 5 inches this way, make a mark. I take my square at the 5-inch mark that way, 5-inch mark this way. Now on the 5-inch mark this way, we want to cut with a saw. And I have this drywall saw you can get at home improvement store. We're going to cut that all the way down to our next mark. The next mark, I'm going to take a utility knife and I'm going to score it along that line at the top paper. Now you're going to take and snap it down and then go underneath with the utility knife and cut that back paper. You have our patch. Now we're going to take this patch and we're going to place it over the hole. We're going to take and trace all the way around this patch. Okay, we're going to take our keyhole saw and we're going to cut out this area that we've marked out from our patch. Now with the keyhole saw, it has a point on the end. We want to start on one of the corners where our line is, and we're going to run the saw all the way around our mark. Try to stay on the line the best you can. Set the patch in and put a mark on the wall at the top of our cutout and at the top of our patch, so that when we're done putting our backing in, we know that that's the way that patch has to go back in. Okay, now I have a piece of 1x4 approximately 8 inches long, and what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put this in that hole and hold it up against the drywall. And in order to do that, we need to take a screw and put it in so it's tight. Not all the way through, but so it's tight. So I get something to hang on to, like a handle. We're going to take that and hold it up in there. So now we have something to hold that piece of backing tight to the drywall in the back. These are standard drywall screws. These are 1.25 inches long. You want to put it in far enough so that it just dimples the paper. Not too far, because if it goes through the paper, then it'll fall out. It won't hold. Now we're ready to put our patch back in. Now remember the mark. We've got the mark. We can put our patch in. Now we have something to screw the drywall to. All right, now that we have our patch, we're going to need to use fiberglass meshed tape, and this has to go over the cracks so that once the drywall mud that we put on it is dry, it won't crack along that seam. And you'll be able to sand this smooth with the existing wall, and you won't be able to see it. So it's self-sticky on the back. Make a piece that's just a little bit longer than your seam, and you can cut it with your drywall knife. And now we're going to continue all the way around that seam with our tape until we have all of these seams covered. Now we're ready to put on some drywall mud. Now that we have our tape on, we want to take some joint compound, a nice glob of it, and put it on the tape joints, and we want to smooth it out all the way around the tape joints and to cover up the screws. We also want to make sure that we get a nice even coat over the whole patch And then you want to scrape it as thin as you can get it. Don't worry about it not looking like it's covered. Once it's dried, we're going to sand this down, sand this area down. And the trick is to get all of this material flush with the original wall. So you'll want to feather the edges. The edges might be a little high. Just get it nice and smooth. You'll be able to tell. Okay, now that we've got our second coat on our patch and we've sanded it down, we're nice and smooth with the existing wall and our patch, we can go ahead and paint. So I've got the paint here. It's a nice match, the original, and we're just going to put a coat of paint on. And now once we've finished painting, it's blending in really nice and our hole has disappeared. My name is David Geeting from By the Book Construction in Camarillo, California, and I've just shown you how to repair a small hole in the drywall.